3.
Hey everyone, we are ready to do our first check of our vegetative propagation or our cuttings experiment. And we can see there's lots of stuff going on above ground. So we've got, foliage flushing, but we really we need the roots. The foliage without the roots really doesn't get us anywhere. So we want to dig each of these cuttings up and see what the callus and what the rooting looks like underneath the substrate. So we're very carefully going to do that, and we're going to show you some. We may not do all of them if we get a really good indication, but we want you to see all of the different things that we are looking for. So we're going to go in order as they are on your sheet. So the data you're collecting should be easy to record. So that means we're starting with Pussy Willow, and we're going to do tree number 1 with the hormone, tree 2 with the hormone, tree 3 with the hormone. Then we'll go to Pussy Willow without. We'll do tree 1 without, tree 2 without, tree 3 without. So I'll try and remind you where we are as we go. But this is Pussy Willow number 1 with hormone. So we're just gonna kind of dig down. Now we don't want to disturb the roots that are there, so it's a little bit tricky, and we just want to loosen the substrate but not sever any roots that may be developing. So once it's nice and loose, we can pull it out of there. And of course, it's gonna be covered with just bits of the substrate, but we want to try and expose that wound. And we've still got some of the rooting hormones, so we wanna be careful not to wipe all of that off. So from here, what we're going to look for, we've got some foliage flushing because we've got some green coming from the buds here. We can look at the bottom and we can see, there's some little kind of strands that look like hair. I don't know how well you can see that, but I wouldn't quite call those roots. The other thing we would look for is callus, and we're not really able to see that here because of the rooting hormone. The bulge that's on there tells me that maybe there's some callus forming, but without being able to really see it, I don't want to say for sure. So the code that I would give this, so Pussy Willow 1 with hormone, is going to be F for foliage flushing, because it's coming here, but no callus and no roots that we can see. Okay, so Pussy Willow number 1 is F. We're just gonna make a hole for this and bury it again and wish it well. See you next week. Okay, so Pussy Willow number 2 with the hormone. This one, it doesn't look like we've got, as much happening above, right? So there's no foliar flush here, so we wouldn't give this the same code. We can see a bit of gunk, okay? But what's interesting on this one to look at is this great big split here. So that is likely the callus forming, but we don't really have enough conclusive evidence to call it callus just yet. And I don't see any root formation. So this is going to get a code of N for nothing. No callus, no foliage, and no roots, but that's not to say that this isn't super exciting, because it's very likely by next week that we'll have lots going on, okay? So we make a hole, we put this one back, we wish it well, good luck, okay? Pussy Willow number 3 with hormone. So we can see already that we have some foliar flush, okay? So we know it's going to have a code of F, and we'll see if we're going to add to that code at all. Okay, so again, here we can see kind of the swelling around the wound. So that is a really good sign. And hey, look, there's a root.
Yay!
Thanks, Steph. I thought I was too excited for that. But that is really cool. That is exactly what we want to see. And we can tell it's a root because it's nice and white, where the foliar flush that's happening up here is more green, more silver green, which is expected with this this species. But what's happened here, this is a bud that we have buried, so it should have grown foliage, but because we put it in an environment where it is more prone to grow roots, it just changed and grew roots. So this is exactly what we want to see. So we would give this a code, I'm just making sure I have the right one here, of FR. So we have foliage and roots, but not quite a callus yet. And I suspect the callus is well on its way, but since we can't prove it yet, we're not going to claim something we can't prove. But super exciting. we'll put it back. Thank you, number 3, for being our superstar. And we want to be really careful not to damage that root. So that one I'll gently put back in. Good job.